back! This is Orzi, your teacher broadcaster.
Magandang araw mga kapantas!
Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo.
Mabuhay! Good afternoon, grade 8 students, dear parents, fellow teachers, and to everyone who are with us today. Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo. What a wonderful day to start our English lesson. Come along with me in discovering and exploring the wonders of the English language. I'm teacher Odina Bermudez, your teacher broadcaster for today. For you to keep up with all the lessons in grade 8, tune in to RTV Tarlac Channel 26, simulcast on DZTC 828 and Aral TarlakHenyo live on Facebook and YouTube. Before we proceed, first, find a comfortable place where you can focus and study the lesson for today. Next, have your learning activity sheet ready. The lesson that we are focusing today is about using conventions to cite sources. Then make sure that you also have your English notebook and a pen with you. The lesson is taken from English Most Essential Learning Competencies with the objective, use conventions in citing sources. Let's start with a walkthrough of our lesson, starting with recalling the previous lesson, taking notes some keywords and the different conventions used to cite sources, applying what we have learned by answering practice exercises, and strengthening your understanding through homework activities. So for activity 1, let us recall. Let us look back from the previous lesson by answering the following questions. Write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. Number 1. In doing your research paper, you have to make sure that you use information taken from reliable sources. So the underlined word is reliable. Letter A, common. B, intelligent, C, trustworthy, and letter D, understandable. The underlined word is reliable. Letter A, common, B, intelligent, C, trustworthy, and letter D, understandable. Let's go to number 2. Scholarly published articles are good sources of reliable information. The underlined word is scholarly. Here are the choices. Letter A, academically, B, professionally, C, timely, and letter D, wisely. Let's go to number 3. If you have taken an information from a certain website, do not forget to cite it in your paper as your source. The underlined word is cite. And here are the choices. Letter A, acknowledge, B, appreciate, letter C, discuss, and letter D, underline. Are you ready for number 4? Here we go. Number 4. You can be easily accused of plagiarizing other authors' work if you will not cite your sources. So the underlined word here is cite. A, copying, B. Repeating. Letter C. Rubbing. Or letter D. Stealing. Let's go to number 5. One way of citing your sources is to include a bibliography of these sources in a separate page of your research paper. The underlined word here is bibliography. Here are the choices. Letter A, copy of other studies. Letter B, list of scientific research. Letter C, worksheet of different sources. And letter D, list of related sources of information. Okay, I'm sure you are done, so let us answer the review activity. For number 1, the underlined word is reliable. It's letter C, trustworthy. For number 2, scholarly, it's academically. That's letter A. For number 3, cite, the answer is letter A, acknowledge. For number 4, plagiarizing, correct answer is letter D, stealing. And the last one, bibliography, it's letter D, list of related sources of information. Did you get all the correct answers? That's great! This means that you are ready for the next lesson. So let us begin our new lesson with this activity. Can you rearrange the following letters to form a word? Number 1. So that's the scrambled letters. Here is the clue. It is an act of presenting someone else's work of ideas as your own, with or without their consent, by incorporating it into your work without full acknowledgement. So what is the word? Here is number 2. So look at the scrambled letters. It contains an alphabetical list of sources, like books, periodicals, and websites used by the writer or researcher. Okay, let us go to number 3. Here is number 3. So that's the scrambled letters, and here is the clue. It is a formal reference to a published or unpublished source that you consulted and obtained information while writing your research paper. So what do you call this word? Okay, you're done. So let's go to number 4. Okay, here is the clue. It is a creative and systematic work undertaken to increase the stock of knowledge involving collecting, organizing, and analyzing of information to increase understanding of a topic or issue. Okay, let's go to number 5. It provides citation of information in a book or article. It provides citation of information in a book or article. Are you done, students? It is now time to check your answers. For number 1, the correct answer is plagiarism. For number 2, bibliography. For number 3, citation. For number 4, it's research. And the last one, number 5, references. Were you able to rearrange all the letters correctly? Good job! Now we can move on to the next part of the lesson. I have here a few questions. Why do we cite the source? Where do we get these sources of information? How do we make citation of sources? Okay, grade 8 students, these are the questions that we will try to find out as we continue with our lesson. But before that, the following slides tells us several reasons why we cite sources except for one. Okay, so there are 5 items. Put a check if the sentence refers to the importance of citation of sources. Put an X if it's not. Are you ready? Number 1. It gives credit to the authors. Is it check or X? It gives credit to the authors. Is it check or X? Let's go to number 2. Number 2. It makes the author more famous. Number 2. It makes the author famous. Okay, think about your answers. Is it check or X? For number 3, it shows the writer's credibility, referring to whether his or her sources are reliable. It shows the writer's credibility, referring to whether his or her sources are reliable. Is it check or X? Number 4. It prevents plagiarism, an act of stealing someone else's ideas and presenting them as your own. It prevents plagiarism, an act of stealing someone else's ideas and presenting them as your own. Okay, let's go to number 5. It provides the reader with more information about the source. For number 5, it provides the reader with more information about the source. Okay, we are now going to check your answers. For number 1, it's check. Okay, I see that Angel got the correct answer for number 1. For number 2, it's letter X. X, why? Because being famous is not related in citing sources. So I could see that there are 5 of you who got the correct answers. For number 3, it's check. Okay? For number 4, it's check. And for number 5, check. So from your comments, it seems that you all got the correct answers. Congratulations for you! Now that we have answered the question why we cite sources, now we will talk about how do we make citation to these sources. There are actually 3 main citation styles of formats. The first one is the APA. The second is MLA. And the third is CMOS or CMOS. As you can see, the APA is used for social and behavioral sciences, while the MLA is for literature and related subjects such as film and theater. Lastly, the CMOS style is used for academic fields like humanities and social sciences. Let us have a short journey with these 3 main citation styles. Okay, for number 1, The American Psychological Association, that's APA, okay, is usually being used for social sciences, behavior and social sciences. So below is an example of a book citation. See the author's name, you will see the author's name, De La Cruz J. The year it was published, that's 2020. The book title, Live the Life You Make, a compilation of life stories of modern day heroes. And also, the publishing house. It's Sinagpala Publishing House Incorporated. So, because there is the URL or e-text, this means that this book is an e-textbook. So this means that you can get this book either printed or online. Okay? So number 2, let us go now to MLA. MLA stands for the Modern Language Association. You have the author's name, De La Cruz Juan M. The title of the story, Life is What We Make It. And the title of the book, Bagong Bayani, and the year it was published. So that's 2019. Okay, the last one is the Chicago Manual of Style, or CMOS. It is cited this way. The author, De La Cruz Juan, title of the book, Living Life to the Fullest, An Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man. The place of publication, Tarlac City. The publisher, Bagong Bayani Press, plus the year it was published, it's 2009. In this lesson, we will follow the bibliography annotation standards specified in Chicago Manual of Style 17th edition. So there are 2 types of formats of sources of information. We have the print sources and online sources. So again, we will follow the Chicago Manual of Styles 17th edition. Let's start with the print sources. So the print sources are actually sources that have been published in printed format, such as books and periodicals. You can buy them usually in different bookstores. So let us have the first example, which is a book. So you started with author's last name and first name, the title of the book, the subtitle, place of publication, name of publisher, and the year of publication. So take a look at the example. For books with one author, so you have the author's name, Lourdes Cruz, Language and Literature, Grade 8 Learner's Textbook, Quezon City, Cruz Publishing House Incorporated, 2015. How about with books with 2 to 10 authors? Okay, so you are going to cite it this way. 2 or more authors should be listed in the order as they appear as authors, and not necessarily in alphabetical order. Okay, again, 2 or more authors should be listed in the order as they appear as authors, and not necessarily in alphabetical order. For sources with more than 10 authors, include only the first 7 in the bibliography followed by et al., a Latin phrase which means and others. So here is the example. So Cruz Lourdes, D. Armando, Perez Jose, and Rubio Nancy. So those are the authors. Language and Literature, Grade 8 Learner's Textbook, that's the name of the book or the title of the book. Quezon City, place of publication. Cruz Publishing House Incorporated, that's the name of the publisher, and the year it's published is 2015. Now, how about if you cite a source from a from just a chapter in a book? So it's very easy. So you have the name of the author, the title of the book, and then insert the pages where you took the information. So here in the example, you see pages 30 to 47. And then you're going to add the place of publication, the publisher, and the date that was published. Is it easy? Yes, it's very easy. You just have to follow the format. Now, we will go now to periodicals. What are periodicals? These are magazines, scholarly journals, newspapers, and newsletters published at regular intervals. So publication dates are essential when citing periodical sources. Let us have the journal as an example. So you have the author's last name, Juana Martinez, title of article, Distance Learning Amidst COVID-19, the journal title, Journal of Studies in Philippine Education. The issue is 10 number 2. And then the year of issue, it's 2019, plus the pages where the journal article is located or is found. Now, we will go now to the next one, which is newspaper. So you have the author's last name. It's Paraan Leonardo. The name of the news is Filipino Students Bags Trophy in International Quiz B. The name of the newspaper, Caraga Sinag Press, and the date or the year. It's July 17, 2018. How about with magazine? Author's last name and first name, it's Alice Bothea. Finding new hobbies in time of quarantine, young mind creatives. Okay, so Finding New Hobbies is the title of the article. The magazine title is Young Mind Creatives, and the date is June 2020. Let us go now with online sources. So students, you have the learning activity sheet. You can again review the site, how to cite these sources of information. So for online sources, these are actually materials of information taken from the internet, or other terms we use is electronic sources, web sources, internet sources. Let us start with website. So you have the author's last name, Orculio Ramon Jr., page title, Solid Faith, the website title, Department of Education, Caraga Region, the published date, June 2, 2020, and the access date, okay? The published date or access date, so that's different, okay? Plus the URL. How about for ebook? For ebook, you have to follow the author's last name and first name. Solis, Anna May, De La Cruz, Christopher, Dizon, Jane. Okay, for the title of the book, it's How to Improve Your Reading Skills, Manila. The name of the publisher, it's Tim's Publishing Company. Year of publication, 2018, and the format. If it's an e-publication, then you say EPUB. If it's an e-textbook, you say e-textbook. If it's from Kindle, you just have to write Kindle or PDF, or just specify the URL. For number 3, online journal, so you have the author's name, first name, article title, journal title volume, plus the number of issue and the year, page range of article, URL of journal article or web page, or just the name of database. So look at the presentation. Let's go now for number 4. So we have the online newspaper and magazine. Author's last name, first name, article title, and the newspaper magazine. Okay, let us go now to the application. We will only have the first 2 numbers. Let us answer the following exercises to see how well you understood. You're going to fill in the missing information to complete the format of each source. You are going to choose the letter of the correct answer from the box. So for number 1, there's a missing information here. You're going to choose the answers from the box. So Burgos Charity and Nolioga Mark, blank, Cebu Tamaraw Publishing Incorporated 2015. So what could be the missing information? Okay, did you answer letter B, learning the English language for Filipino students? You got it correct. Okay, so that's the missing information. Let us go to number 2. Okay, it's a journal. Hanyola Bernard, Improving Critical Thinking Skills Through Multimedia, blank, 2, 2017, 21, 28. So what could be the missing information? Did you answer letter D? That is correct. It's Research Journal of Filipino Educators. This means that it's the journal title that is missing. Okay, so from 3 to 5, you will continue doing that today, and then answer also the homework that is provided in your learning activity sheet. Okay, for number 3 to number 5, you are going to continue answering it offline, and then answer also the homework that is given to you in the learning activity sheet. Okay, so that's number 5. Okay, so let's go now to the post-listening and viewing activities. So you are going to arrange and write the following list of sources or references to form a correct bibliography. Write your answer on your English book. I'm going to finish by saying, education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.
Alam niyo ba na ang gitnang Luzon ay tinaguri ang banga ng bigas ng bayan at kamalig ng palay ng Pilipinas dahil dito nagbumula ang malaking produksyon ng bigas sa ating bansa. Ito ay binubuo ng mga lalawigan ng Aurora, Bataan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Zambales at Tarlac. Ugaliin nating manood ng Aral TarlakHenyo Lunes hanggang Biyernes alas 8:30 ng umaga hanggang alas 5:30 ng hapon. Ako si Binibining Pia Izrin Capiral, ang inyong teacher broadcaster sa Araling Panlipunan dito sa Project Shine Aral TarlakHenyo. Lagi nating tandaan ang pag-aaral ng Araling Panlipunan ay tungo sa daan ng pagiging makadiyos, makakalikasan, makatao at makabansa.
Welcome sa ating Aral TarlakHenyo sa Schools Division of Tarlac Province, sa RTV Tarlac Channel 26 at DZTC Radio Filipino Tarlac. Magandang araw! Naririto tayo, nagsisikap at nagpupunyagi upang maging makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa. Kumusta kayo mga ginigilo kong mag-aaral? Ang aking pagbati at paghanga sa inyong masidhing pagpupunyagi sa patuloy na pag-aaral sa himpapawid upang matuto sa kabila ng hamon ng pagkakataon ang COVID-19 pandemic. Ako nga pala ang inyong guro sa Araling Panlipunan Grade 8, si Ginoong Michael Francis P. Rocha, upang samahan at gabayan kayo upang maunawaan ang nilalaman ng ating aralin na heograpiyang pantao. Sa lahat po ng mga magulang at mag-aaral sa ikawalong baitang na kasalukuyang nakasubaybay sa ating live broadcast, kung meron po kayong mga katanungan at nais o mga nais linawin ukol sa ating paksa sa ngayong araw, ay maaari po kayong mag-text sa aking numero na 0915-358-8291. Kaya, text na. Mga gilo kong mag-aaral, ipinapaalala kong muli ang ating kasunduan bago natin simulan ang ating talakayan. Una, siguraduhin na kayo ay nasa komportableng lugar habang nakasubaybay sa ating Aral TarlakHenyo. Pangalawa, ihanda ang inyong module, papel at ballpen na gagamitin sa pag-aaral. At panghuli, iwasan ang paggawa ng ibang bagay at ituon ang isarili sa paksang tatalakayin. Batid ko na kayang-kaya niyong gawin ang mga ito. Balikan muna natin ang paksang tinalakay noong nakaraang araw. Makikita ninyo sa ating screen ang isang puzzle. Sa loob ng puzzle na ito ay may 5 salitang may kaugnayan sa natatanging kultura ng mga rehiyon, bansa, at mamamayan sa daigdig. Para sa balik-aral natin, ihanda ang inyong sagutang papel, ballpen at isulat sa sagutang papel ang 5 salitang may natatanging kaugnayan sa natatanging kultura ng mga rehiyon, bansa at mamamayan sa daigdig. Handa na ba kayo? Kung ganon, magsimula na tayong hanapin ang 5 salita. Okay, ano-ano ang mga salitang nahanap ninyo sa puzzle? May mga kaugnayan or mga salita na nasa puzzle na may kaugnayan sa natatanging kultura ng mga rehiyon, bansa at mamamayan sa daigdig. At narito ang mga salitang ito. Nandyan ang wika, nariyan ang lahi, ang relihiyon, heograpiyang pantao at pangkat etniko. Ilan ang nakuha mong tamang sagot? Patid ko na marami. Kung hindi naman, ay may pagkakataon ka pang bumawi sa mga susunod pa nating mga gawain. Tinalakay natin sa nakaraang aralin ang tungkol sa unang bahagi ng pag-aaral natin sa heograpiyang pantao. Ang paksang ito o sa paksang ito, nagkaroon tayo ng malinaw at malawak na kaalaman tungkol sa heograpiyang pantao o heograpiyang kultural. Tinalakay din natin ang mga tungkol sa wika at relihiyon. Kung sa nakaraang talakayan, tinalakay ang tungkol sa unang bahagi ng pag-aaral natin sa heograpiyang pantao, ngayon ay handa na ba kayo sa bago nating aralin? Game na ba kayong mag-aral at matuto? Dito lamang sa Aral TarlakHenyo. Atin namang talakay ngayon ang patungkol sa natatanging kultura ng mga rehiyon, bansa at mamamayan sa daigdig. Inaasahan natin na sa pagtatapos ng leksyon na ito ay kaya mong mapahalagahan ang natatanging ng mga rehiyon, bansa at mamamayan sa daigdig. Handa na ba kayo? Pero bago natin simulan ang ating talakayan ay magkaroon muna tayo ng kalinawan ukol sa salitang kultura. Ano nga ba ang kahulugan ng salitang kultura? Pag-uusapan natin ngayon ang kahulugan ng salitang ito. Ito pa rin sa ating Aral TarlakHenyo. Sa Pilipinas, o isa ang bansang Pilipinas sa may napakayamang kultura. Dahil sa natatanging kaugalian at tradisyon mula noon hanggang ngayon. Ang kulturang Pilipino ay sumasailalim o sumasalamin sa nakaraan. Mula sa mga bagay na ginagamit ngayon sa araw-araw hanggang sa mga bagay na dinadaan-daanan lamang. Lahat ng ito ay bahagi ng kultura ng Pilipino. Ang kultura ay isang pangkalahatang terminolohiya na sumasaklaw sa kaugalian at tradisyon ng sangkatauhan, kabilang ang mga kaalaman, paniniwala, sining, nandyan din ang batas, mga kinagisnan, kakayahan at nakasanayang gawin ng bawat isa. Sa nakaraang aralin, matatandaan na tinalakay natin ang tungkol sa wika. Ito ay nagbibigay ng intendidad o pagkakakilanlan sa taong kabilang sa isang pangkat. Itinuturing din itong kaluluwa ng isang kultura. Tinalakay din natin ang ilan sa mga pangunahing pamilya ng wika sa daigdig. Naaalala pa ba ninyo ang 5 pangunahing pamilya ng wika sa daigdig? Ito ang Afro-Asiatic, ang Austronesian, ang Indo-European, ang Niger-Congo, at ang Sino-Tibetan. Ngayon, ay alamin naman natin ang mga wika sa iba't ibang rehiyon sa daigdig. Una ay tatalakayin natin ang rehiyong Latin America at Caribbean. Kalahati ng mga bansa sa Latin America at Caribbean ay gumagamit ng wikang Espanyol. Sa Mexico naman ay ang pagpasok ng mga Indian-Mexican Spanish. Sa Brazil, ang kanilang salita ay Portuguese. Sa Haiti at sa Martinique ay sila ay nagsasalita ng Pranses o French. Samantalang sa Jamaica at sa Guyana, Ingles ang kanilang salita. Sa Peru, ang salitang Quechua na isang salita o isang wikang Indian at Espanyol. Sa rehiyong kanlurang Europe at silangang Europe naman tayo. Sa kanlurang Europe, sa kanilang wika o ang kanilang wika ay Indo-European. Sa hilagang bahagi nito, gumagamit naman sila ng mga salitang English, Danish, at Swedish. Sa France, ang kanilang wika ay French. Sa Portugal, of course, Portuguese. At sa Spain, Espanyol. At sa Italy naman, nandyan ang Italia. Sa silangang Europe naman, ang kanilang wika ay Indo-European din. German naman sa iilang lugar sa rehiyon. Ang mga bansang Russia, Poland, Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia at Macedonia ay gumagamit din ng salitang Indo-European. Dumako naman tayo sa rehiyong Hilaga, Gitnang Silangan at Sub-Saharan Africa. Sa Hilaga at Gitnang Silangan ng Africa, natuto ng Muslim ang mga hindi Arabong yumakap ng Islam. Afro-Asiatic Arabic ang kanilang gamit. Sa Israel naman, ang kanilang salita ay Hebrew. Sa Timog Morocco at Algeria ay gumagamit ng salitang Berber. Sa Turkey at sa Cyprus ay gumagamit naman sila ng Turkish language. Sa Iran naman ay Persian. Ang wikang Pranses at Espanyol ay ginagamit sa mga transaksyon sa gobyerno at negosyo sa bansang Morocco. Sa Sub-Saharan Africa ay gumagamit ng wikang African, Afro-Asiatic at Indo-European. Pinakamaraming tao ang gumagamit ng wikang African. Ang pinakamalaking pangkat sa Central, Silangan at Timog na bahagi ng rehiyon ay gumagamit ng wikang Bantu. Sa hilagang kanluran ng Sub-Sahara naman ay gumagamit ng mga salitang Arabic at Berber. Sa Timog Africa naman ay wikang Indo-European, Ingles, at African. Sa rehiyong Timog Asya, ang kanilang wika ay Hindu, Urdu, at Bengali. Sa bansang Nepal at Sri Lanka naman ay gumagamit ng wikang Nepali at Sinhalasi. Wikang Hindi, ang mga salita sa halos kalahati ng populasyon ng India na mga taga-Hilaga at Central India. Wikang Ingles o ang wikang Ingles ay popular din sa India dahil sa naging impluensya ng Great Britain sa kanila. Urdu naman ang gamit ng mga tao sa Pakistan. Dravidian naman ang gamit ng 1/5 na populasyon ng mga tao sa Timog India at hilagang bahagi ng Sri Lanka. Atin naman ngayon talakayin ang mga wika sa Silangang Asya. Ang wikang ginagamit sa Silangang Asya ay Sino-Tibetan. Okay? Nandyan din ang Tibet o Burman sa Talampag, Tibet at ang Chinese. Kilala rin ang wikang Mandarin at Wu Chinese sa Hilagang China. Sa Timog China naman, ang Cantonese. Sa Taiwan naman, ay nandyan din ang Mandarin. Kabilang din ang dialektong Taiwanese at Hakka. Sa Japan naman, of course, nandyan ang Japanese o yung Nihongo. Sa Korea, nandyan ang Korean language. Mongol naman sa Mongolia. At sa Manchura ay Manchu ang gamit na wika na nagmula sa sangay ng Ural at Laik na ginamit din madalas ng mga taong naninirahan sa Hilaga at kanlurang bahagi ng rehiyon. Ngayon ay dumako tayo sa Timog Silangang Asya. Ang kanilang gamit na wika ay Malayo-Polynesian, Sino-Tibetan at Mon-Khmer. Sa Pilipinas, ang ginagamit ng mga wika ay Filipino, Ingles, at ilang mga bahagi ng Pilipinas ay nagsasalita ng Espanyol at Chinese Mandarin. Malay at Tami ang gamit na wika sa Singapore. Sa Malaysia, Ingles ang wikang gamit sa negosyo, ngunit may hakbang na isinasagawa ang kanilang pamahalaan upang salitang Malay ang gamitin sa pangkalahatan. Sa Antarctic at Australia at Oceania naman, maraming wika rin ang kanilang ginagamit, pero mas kilala ang Indo-European. Samantalang sa Australia, New Zealand at maraming bahagi ng Oceania ay gumagamit ng salitang Ingles. Sa French Polynesia at iba pang bahagi ng Oceania na nananatiling nasa political control ng France o ng bansang France ay gumagamit ng wikang French o Pranses. Gumagamit din ng iba pang katutubong wika na kabilang sa sangay ng Malayo-Polynesia ang mga tao sa Oceania. Halos 700 na lokal na dialekto ang sinasalita sa Papua New Guinea. Dulot ng pangangailangan sa kalakalan na buo ang wika na may halong katutubo at Europeo na tinawag na Pidgin English. Ngayon ay natapos na nating aralin ang patungkol sa wika. Dumako naman tayo sa ikalawang bahagi ng ating aralin, ang tungkol sa lahi o race. Ano ba itong lahi o race? Ito ay tumutukoy sa pagkakakilanlan ng isang pangkat ng mga tao, physical o biological na katangian. Okay? Ng pangkat na iyon. Maihahalin tulad sa isang mosaic ang ating daigdig. Bakit, Mose? Dahil na rin sa maraming natatanging paglalarawan ng mga naninirahan dito. Nagmula naman ang salitang etniko sa salitang Grego ethnos na ang ibig sabihin ay mamamayan. Ang miyembro ng pangkat etniko ay may iisang maliwanag na sariling pagkakakilanlan. Pinag-uugnay ng magkakatulad na kultura, wika, pinagmulan at relihiyon ang mga miyembro ng pangkat etniko. Maraming eksperto ang namumuno sa pag-aaral ng iba't ibang klasifikasyon ng tao sa daigdig. Ngunit marami rin ang nagsasabing nagdudulot ito ng kontrobersya sapagkat maari itong pagmulan ng diskriminasyon. Ilan naman sa mga pangunahing lahi sa daigdig ay ang Mongoloid o ang Asian na mga nanggaling sa Asia, ang mga Caucasians o yung mga puti na nanggaling sa Europe, at Negroid na nagmula naman sa Africa. Ngayong tapos na natin ang ating unang bahagi ng ating leksyon, oras na para tasahin ang inyong kaalaman ukol sa geograpiyang pantao. Ihanda ang inyong kwaderno at ballpen para sa inyong gawain. Isulat ang inyong pangalan, antaas, pangkat at petsa ngayong araw. Magsisimula na tayo at kailangan nyo lamang isa-isahin ang mga sagot sa aking mga katanungan. Handa na ba kayo? Mukhang handa na nga kayo. Kung gayon, pakinggang mabuti ang panuto at ang mga tanong na aking babasahin. Isulat ninyo ang tamang sagot sa sagutang papel. Okay, para sa panuto, buuin ang puzzle tungkol sa heograpiyang pantao sa pamamagitan ng pagtukoy sa inilalarawan ng bawat bilang. Handa na ba ang lahat? Para sa unang bilang, pahalang, ito ang itinuturing na kaluluwa ng kultura. Kung ang inyong sagot ay wika, kayo ay magaling. Susunod naman, ang ikatlong bilang, pahalang, ito ang sistema ng mga paniniwala at ritual. Kung ang inyong sagot ay relihiyon, kayo ay magaling. Para sa susunod na katanungan o kataga, para sa ikapitong bilang, pahalang, ito ay ang pagkakakilanlang biological ng pangkat ng tao. Kung ang inyong kasagutan ay lahi, kayo ay magaling. Para naman sa susunod na bilang, ang ikasyam na bilang, pahalang, ito ang pamilya ng wikang Filipino. Kung ang sagot ninyo ay Austronesian, kayo ay tama. Lubhang napakagaling naman talaga. Susunod na bilang, ikasampu, pahalang, ito ang matandang relihiyong umunlad sa India. Kung ang sagot ninyo ay Hinduismo, kayo ay tama. Susunod, dito naman tayo sa mga pahabang bilang. Para sa ikalawang bilang, pababa, ito ang relihiyong may pinakamaraming tagasunod. Ano ang inyong kasagutan? Kung ang inyong kasagutan ay Kristyanismo, abay, napakagaling talaga. Susunod, para sa bilang pang-apat, pababa, ito ang pamilya ng wikang may pinakamaraming taong gumagamit. Ulitin ko, ito ang pamilya ng wikang pinakamaraming taong gumagamit. Ano ang kasagutan ninyo? Okay, kung ang kasagutan ninyo ay Niger, Congo, kayo ay magaling. Susunod na bilang, para naman sa bilang 5 pababa, ito ang salitang ugat ng relihiyon. Ano ang salitang ugat ng relihiyon? Kung ang inyong sagot ay religare, abay, tama kayo. Susunod, ang tanong sa ika-6 pababa, ano ang salitang Greek ng mamamayan? Ano ang salitang Greek ng mamamayan? Ano ang inyong kasagutan? Okay, at kung ang sagot ninyo ay ethnos, kayo ay tama. At para sa panghuling kasagutan or katanungan, ang bilang 8 pababa, ito ang pangkat ng tao na may iisang kultura at pinagmulan. Ulitin ko, ito ang pangkat ng tao na may iisang kultura at pinagmulan. Ano ang inyong kasagutan? Kung ang sagot ninyo ay etniko, aba naman, talagang napakagaling ninyo. Nakakuha ba kayo ng mataas na score sa inyong gawain? Hangad ko na marami ang inyong nakuhang score. At para naman doon sa mga hindi gaanong nakakuha ng maraming score, huwag mag-alala, bagpos kayo ay bumawi sa mga susunod pa natin na mga episode. Kasama kami ng mga guro ninyo sa Araling Panlipunan Grade 8 bilang inyong mga gabay. Isang bahagi ng ating leksyon ang ating natapos na naman na talakayin. Ngayon, upang magkaroon ka ng ideya sa susunod na paksa, basahin mo or basahin ninyo ang mga sumusunod na paksa sa Module 3 upang maging handa ka sa susunod nating mga leksyon. Okay, ulitin ko lang. Module 3 para maging handa ka sa susunod nating leksyon. Ngayon, ay sana huwag ninyong makalimutan ang mahalagang aral na inyong matutunan o inyong natutunan mula sa ating leksyon at sikapin nyo itong maibahagi sa iba pa. Okay? Ngayon, inaasahan ko na kayo'y natuto sa ating talakayan sa araw na ito. Muli, ako ang inyong guro sa Araling Panlipunan Grade 8, si Ginoong Michael Frances Pirocha, na nagsasabing, ang pag-aaral sa Araling Panlipunan ay daan sa pagiging makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa. Hanggang sa muli,
Kabahagi mo Radyo Pilipino. Impormasyon impormasyong may kalidad, serbisyong may halaga, saan mang bahagi ng Pilipinas. On air. Saan mang bahagi ng mundo. Online. Anumang uri ng pamumuhay. Kasama, katuwang, kapinoy. Kabahagi mo. Radyo Pilipino. Radyo Pilipino.
Alam niyo ba na ang jeep ay ang pinakasikat na uri ng transportasyon sa Pilipinas? May nagsasabi na ang pangalang jeep ay hango sa salitang jeepy na ang ibig sabihin ay general purpose or government purpose na naglalarawan ng military jeep na ginamit noong World War II. Pagkatapos ng digmaan, iniwan na ng mga sundalong Amerikano ang libu-libong jeep sa kalsada ng Maynila. Ang matibay at makulay na jeepney nga raw ay truly mestizo dahil sa half local at half foreign na katangian nito. Alam nyo na, yan ang jeepney!
Kumusta mga giliw kong tagapakinig?
Nagbabalik ang inyong paaralang panghimpapawid
Aral TarlakHenyo
Sa RTV Tarlac, Channel 26,
at sa bayang naririnig sa DZTC 828.
Radyo Pilipino Tarlac.
Tayo rin ay napapanood sa FB Live ng RTV Tarlac Channel 26.
Sumasahimpapawid mula sa bayan ng Pura Tarlac.
mula sa bayan ng San Clemente.
Mula rito sa Puro Elementary School, Pura Tarlac.
sa bayan ng Kapas Tarlac.
Ako, ang inyong guro,
na maghahatid sa inyo ng makabuluhang pagtalakay sa ating aralin.
a blessed day and a big hello, PLE-minded learners! Welcome to another fun and exciting learning at Aral TarlakHenyo here on RTV Tarlac Channel 26. Simulcast over DCTC Radio Filipino Tarlac. We are also seen live via Channel 100 of Converge Cable TV. I am Rowena S. Hisuler, your teacher broadcaster from Victoria, Tarlac. Alright, so prepare yourselves to another lesson full of knowledge, skills, and practical experiences. Join me as we proceed and take a bite to the new lesson in TLE Grade 8, Agriculture and Crop Production. Remember, my dear students, don't forget to bring with you your compendium of notes, ballpen, and sheets of paper so that you can take down important notes. If you have questions or clarifications on our lesson after our discussion, feel free to text me at 0912-194-7193. Again, it's 0912-194-7193. And now, let us start with a short review and find out if you can still recall what you have learned from the previous lesson. Last time, we discussed about the different farm inputs. Can you still recall the 4 different farm inputs? Very good. The different farm inputs are seeds, seedlings, fertilizers, and insecticides. What is a seed? Yes, you are correct. Seed is a fertilized ripened ovule of a flowering plant containing an embryo and capable normally of germination to produce a new plant. How about seedlings? Very good! Seedlings are young plants, especially one raised from a seed and not from a cutting method. And how about fertilizer? Do you still remember its importance to plants? Yes, you are right. Fertilizers serve as a food for plants. They replace the nutrients that crops remove from the soil. Without the addition of fertilizers, crop yields and agricultural productivity would be significantly reduced. And how about insecticides? Correct! Insecticides are chemicals used to control insects by killing them or preventing them from engaging in undesirable or destructive behaviors. I am so glad that you are able to remember our previous lesson. Again, the 4 different farm inputs are seeds, seedlings, fertilizers, and insecticides. Before we proceed to our lesson for today, let's play a game. The game is called As Picture Gallery. You will arrange the jumbled letters to form a word or words based on the given images. You can type your answer at the comment section. Are you ready, learners? Let's begin. This is the first image. These are the clues. It is composed of 2 words. The first word is V and the second is F. The first word has 9 letters and the second has 7. What words are these? Yes, you are correct. The answer is vegetable farming. How about the second picture? It has 2 words and begins with L and O. Both of the 2 words are composed of 3 letters. What is the answer? Yes, you are right. The answer is layout. The next picture also consists of 2 words. The first word begins with letter O and the last word with letter F. What is the answer? Excellent! The answer is orchard farm. I'm sorry. Did you get all the correct answers? Give yourselves a clap for a job well done. Learning is really fun in TLE. Based on the pictures that had been drawn, our topic for today is all about interpreting plans and drawings, specifically layout garden plots. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify farm plans and layouts according to crop being grown. Follow planting system and practices strictly according to approved cultural practices. Draw or illustrate farm layout according to crop being grown. Before we continue, please remember the following definition of terms. Number 1, layouting. It is the act of locating the position of plant in the orchard. Orchard. It is a piece of land planted with fruit trees. Vegetable farming. It refers to the growing of vegetables for human consumption or trade locally. Monocropping. It is the agricultural practice of growing a single crop year after year on the same land. Intercropping. It is the cultivation of two or more crops simultaneously in the field. Now, let us check if you know how to interpret plans and layouts. Using the plan layout, let us make an interpretation by answering the given questions. Question number 1. What is the area of the land? As we all know, in getting the area, we multiply the length by its width. What is your answer? Very good! The area of the land is 42 square meters. Question number 2. How many rows are there in the area? Correct! There are 6 rows in the area. Question number 3. How many plants are there in a row? Very good! There are 5 plants in each row in the area. Question number 4. How many plants are there in the area? That's correct! There are 30 overall plants in the area. If you get all the right answers, very good. But if it's not, it's okay because the purpose of this activity is just to help you link to the concepts and to give an idea that you need to understand in our discussion later on. Are you ready, dear students? What does the picture show? Yes, you are correct. Farmer is thinking on how he will arrange his crops. Because planning is important on any work to be done, especially when money is involved. A businessman or a farmer has to be cautious, so plan should be present to prevent disarray on what will happen in your crop production farm. What are the common knowledge that are essential in creating a plan for your farm? Very good. The common knowledge in creating a plan are measurement, basic computation, and drawing skills. Now, let us discuss the farm layout. Farm layout is the preparation of land and creative planning on how to cultivate properly the different types of plants, whether vegetables or orchard farm. What should we consider in planning a farm layout? There are 3 things that we need to consider in planning a farm layout. They are the site assessment and selection, the types of plants, and the arrangement of the plants. Site assessment and selection. An on-site assessment of a farm is necessary so that a map can be drawn of the properties, topography, boundaries, soil, water resources, so a farm business plan can be formulated. In site assessment and selection, we need to consider the following which are relevant for our plan. Number 1 is the buffer zone. Number 2, drainage lines. Number 3, soil types. 4, water management. 5, soil management. 6, wind breaks. And 7, groundwater contamination. Let us look closely on the considerations that we should bear in mind before making a farm plan and how they can contribute in making a farm layout. The buffer zone. It intercepts and filters farm chemical and nutrient runoff. Drainage lines. Drainage ensures that the soil is properly aerated. If you have excess or standing water, it can choke your crops. Drainage reduces soil and nutrient loss runoff and can help avoid soil erosion. Groundwater contamination. It is any contamination of the groundwater by pollutants that can affect your farm business operations. Soil type. This needs to be suitable for the crop being grown. Knowing the type of soil we have will help you determine the type of crop we can plant. Windbreaks. It involves screening of property, especially with trees, which prevents many complaints about farm activities. It also prevents the movement of dust, sprays, pests, and noise to adjoining area. Soil management. In order to prevent soil erosion, we need to provide good and install grass drainage, waterways in conjunction with fields designed to prevent erosion from irrigation and heavy rain. Water management. Water supplies must be able to meet the needs of the crops in periods of drought. The second thing we need to consider also is the type of plants we plan to grow in our farm. Designing a farm layout still depends on the type of plants. After knowing the type of plant we want to grow, the third thing we need to consider is the arrangement of these plants because we will make plans for vegetables and orchard farm. Can you identify the difference between a vegetable farm and an orchard farm? Well, let's go to the farm. Identify each picture if it pertains to a vegetable farm or an orchard farm. You can type your answer in the comment section. What is in the first picture? Correct. It is an orchard farm because it grows trees. What about in the second picture? You're right. It is a vegetable layout because it is planted with vegetables. Did you get all the answers correctly? Let's continue. In planning a farm layout, the arrangement of the plants is very important. The most conventional horizontal farming or garden is row planting. It is a practice in most crops, whether in fruit trees or vegetable, that is seeded, transplanted, or grown from monocropping and multiple cropping. Row planting is a system of growing crops in linear pattern in at least one direction. The crops are either arranged in equidistant rows or in multiple rows. The common row planting arrangement for fruit trees are square system. The trees are planted in four corners of square, keeping the same distance between rows and from plant to plant in the same row. Rectangular system. The trees are planted in the same way as in a square, except that the distance in between rows will be more than the distance of the plants in the same row. Quincunx or diagonal system. The number of trees planted in the same area is almost double, but the distance between the trees is much reduced. Another row planting arrangement of fruit trees or orchard farm is hexagonal system, wherein the trees are planted at the corners of an equilateral triangle. The last row planting is the contour system, wherein contour lines themselves become the rows and mark at the row-to-row distance. Those are the different row planting arrangement. Now, let's put them together. In order to make a farm layout, we need to consider the following. Site assessment or selection, where we need to consider also the buffer zone, the drainage lines, soil type, windbreaks, soil management, and groundwater contamination. We need to consider also the types of plants, whether it is a vegetable or fruit tree. All of the plants follow row planting, but they can be planted in different row planting arrangement. Let us see if you remember the lesson that we discussed. Now, my dear students, I would like you to get a sheet of paper for a short quiz. Activity number 1. Identify the following farm layout. Number 1. Is it a contour system or a square system? Number 2. Is it a quincunx or diagonal system? Or rectangular system? Number 3. Is it an hexagonal system or a square system? For activity letter B, identify what is being described in the following sentence. I will read each question twice and write the letter of your answer in your answer sheet. Number 1. It is the most conventional horizontal farming or garden. Letter A, contour system. Letter B, irrigation. Letter C, quincunx or diagonal system. And letter D, windbreaks. Again, it is the most conventional horizontal farming or garden. A, contour system. B, irrigation. C, quincunx or diagonal system. And letter D, windbreaks. Number 2, it is the preparation of land and creative planning on how to cultivate properly the different types of plants, whether vegetables or orchard farm. Letter A, water management. Letter B, windbreaks. Letter C, farm layout. And D, soil management. It is the preparation of land and creative planning on how to cultivate properly the different types of plants, whether vegetables or orchard farm. Letter A, water management. Letter B, windbreaks. Letter C, farm layout. And letter D, soil management. Number 3. It is the agricultural practice of growing a single crop year after year on the same land. Letter A, monocropping. Letter B, intercropping. Letter C, vegetable farming. Letter D, orchard farming. Again, it is the agricultural practice of growing a single crop year after year on the same land? Letter A, monocropping. Letter B, intercropping. Letter C, vegetable farming. And letter D, orchard farming. And now for the last activity, let us do the layout. Given with the following data, draw a multiple row planting arrangement. There are 4 plant beds with 5 plant A and 5 plant B in each bed alternately. Plant A is represented by a star, plant B a circle, and a rectangle for plant beds. Number 2. Draw a row planting arrangement using 5 plant beds with 4 plants each. Again, draw a row planting arrangement with 5 plant beds with 4 plants each. Are you ready to check your answers? Let's begin. Here are the answers for the first activity. Number 1, square system. Number 2, quincunx or diagonal system. Number 3, hexagonal system. And for the second activity, here are the answers. Number 1, letter A. Number 2, letter C. And number 3, letter A. And now, let us check your farm layout. If you draw like this in number 1, you got it right. How about in the second layout? If it's like this, good job! Did you get a perfect score, students? Congratulations! And for those who did not get a perfect score, definitely it's fine as long as you have the willingness to learn and have the desire to get better each day. Please get your module and review your answers. Our lesson has ended. I hope you learned a lot today and apply this in learning in your daily lives. If you have questions about our lesson today, you can reach me on my Facebook account, Rowena Subayno Hisuler, or text me on my mobile number, 0912-194-7193. I will leave you a quote to reflect on, and it goes like this. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted, by David Bly. Keep watching on RTV Channel 26 for more updates. Remember, my dear students, in TLE, we aim for knowledge, skills, and progress. This is Project Aral TarlakHenyo, brought to you by the Department of Education, Division of Tarlac Province, in cooperation with DCTC 828 AM station, sponsored by our ever-supportive Congressman, Charlie Coangco of 1st District Representative. Until next time for another fun learning experience in TLE Grade 8 Agri-Crop Production. Thank you and God bless. I am Teacher Weng of Victoria National High School, signing off.
Upang matugunan ang mga kinakaharap na pagsubok ng mga guro at mag-aaral sa gitna ng kasalukuyang pandemya, nagsanib tulong sina Congressman Charlie Coangco ng unang distrito ng Tarlac, DEPED Region 3 Regional Director Dr. May B. Eclar at Tarlac Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Ronaldo Poson para sa isang napapanahong proyekto na tinaguriang Project Shine, Aral TarlakHenyo. ang mga mag-aaral ng Grade 4 at Grade 5. Ganon din ang Grades 8 and 9 sa buong probinsya ng Tarlac, kasalukuyang sumasailalim sa radio-based instruction. Katuwang ang himpilang DZTZ 828 kHz AM at RTV Tarlac, Channel 26.
Ang Tarlac po nangunguna po ngayon pagdating po sa radio-based instruction. Marami pong humahanga sa atin. I'm very happy this station, itong DCTC, could reach the whole of Region 3. Hindi natin alam, we are contributing. We are creating a very big dent in the history of Philippine education. And I am proud. I am here in Tarlac. This is the noble cause of education in which you and I, without you knowing it, we are bound to do.
Project natin na Project Shine is a natural consequence dahil sa nangyari sa buong mundo. Let's continue to work together. I think it's very Filipino to practice bayanihan in anything or most of the things that we do. And this is a manifestation of that. No? We have private sector, we have DEPED, we have local government, all working together. And I hope the parents of some of these children, especially the parents that did not graduate from school or hindi nakapag-aral nung sila ay bata, sana naman gamitin na nila itong opportunity na mag-schooling na rin sila kasama ng mga anak nila para mag-bonding pati ang mga magulang sa mga bata. I look at this as doing God's work. Diba? So if you do God's work, it feels right. It's righteous. It's for good, not for evil.
Good morning and happy learning, grade 4. Welcome to
Aral TarlakHenyo here on RTV Tarlac, Channel 26.
Simulcast over DZTZ 828, Radio Filipino Tarlac.
I am Teacher Mercy Pacheco Bognot.
This is Alistair Aidatu.
I am Marie Josephine B. Andrade.
I am Teacher Princess Marie M. Dueñas, and I will be your teacher broadcaster for today.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, especially to all grade 8 learners. Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo here on RTV Tarlac Channel 26, simulcast over DZTZ Radio Filipino Tarlac. I am Sir Michael Garcia, your teacher broadcaster for Music Grade 8, live broadcasting at Pura, Tarlac. Join me as we learn together in this of meaningful discussion. I just want to tell some gentle reminders. Make sure that you are in the most comfortable place while tuning into our live stream, television, and radio station. Also, make sure that you have a copy of your learning module and learning activity sheet in grade 8 music for the first quarter to better understand our lesson for today. Today's episode is just a continuation of the lesson about the instrumental music of Southeast Asia. Before we formally discuss our lesson for today, let us first look back on the lesson we had during the first part of the instrumental music in Southeast Asia. Let us have a recap on the lesson with your paper and pen. Identify each picture and classify the instrument or ensembles according to the country it belongs. You may write your correct answers, or you may comment your answers on the comment section on our RTV Tarlac Facebook Live. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1 picture. What country it belongs? A. Cambodia, B. Myanmar, or C. Indonesia? If your answer is C. Indonesia, you are correct. Number 2 picture. What country it belongs? A. Cambodia, B. Myanmar, or C. Indonesia? If your answer is B. Myanmar, you are correct. Number 3. What country it belongs? A. Cambodia, B. Myanmar, or C. Indonesia? If your answer is A. Cambodia, you are correct. Number 4 picture. What country it belongs? A. Cambodia, B. Myanmar, or C. Indonesia? If your answer is C. Indonesia, you are correct. Number 5 picture. What country it belongs? A. Cambodia, B. Myanmar, or C. Indonesia? If your answer is B. Myanmar, you are correct. What is your score in this activity? If you got 3 correct answers, you have a good memory. As we are about to begin the discussion, get your self-learning module and learning activity sheet with a clean sheet of paper and ballpen. Go! Now that you are ready, let's get started. Remember, your learning task for today, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the different musical instruments of different countries in Southeast Asia, explores ways of producing sounds on a variety of sources that would simulate instruments, and analyze how musical instruments performed or played. Let's have first our pretest to assess what you have already know about the lesson. In your learning activity sheet, Activity 1, you will identify the name of musical instruments and circle your correct answer, or you may comment your answer on the comment section on our RTV Tarlac Facebook Live. Number 1. What is the name of this instrument? A. Agung, B. Cheng, C. Kulintang, or D. Ton? If you chose C. Kulintang, you are correct. Number 2. What is the name of this instrument? A. Agung, B. Ching, C. Kim, or D. Ton? If you chose B. Agung, you are correct. Number 3. What is the name of this instrument? A. Cheng, B. Kin, C. Kulintang, or D. Ton? If you chose A. Cheng, you are correct. Number 4. What is the name of this instrument? A. Agung, B. Cheng, C. Kulintang, or D. Ton? If you chose A. Ton, you are correct. Number 5. What is the name of this instrument? A. Agung, B. Ching, C. Kin, or D. Kulintang? If you chose A. Kin, you are correct. Number 6. What is the name of this instrument? A. Agung, B. Ching, C. Ranat, or D. Thon? If you chose A. Ranat, you are correct. What is your score for this activity? If you got all the correct answers, very good. You are at the advantage for this lesson. If you did not get them all correctly, do not worry because this episode will help you learn more. As we continue our lesson today, we will talk about the instrumental music of Southeast Asian countries, Malaysia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and Singapore. Now let's fly to Malaysia. This country is a constitutional monarchy in Southeast Asia. It is divided into two regions, West Malaysia and East Malaysia. Musical instruments of Malaysia are greatly associated with their culture and roots. Musical ensembles and types of performances in Malaysia. Number 1, Agung and Kulintang. It is a gong-based musical ensemble commonly used in funerals and weddings in East Malaysia. This type of ensemble is similar to the Kulintang of the Philippines, Brunei, and Indonesia. Number 2, Kertok, a musical ensemble from the Malay Peninsula that consists of xylophones played swiftly and rhythmically in traditional Malay functions. Number 3, Dikir Barat. It is a type of musical form that is not important to Malaysia's national culture. It is performed by singing in groups and often in a competitive manner, usually with percussion, instrumental accompaniment, or sometimes at all. And number 4, we have Silat Melayu. This is a form of martial arts that is similar to Tai Chi. It originated in the Malay Peninsula since the Christian era and is a mixture of martial arts, dance, and music, usually accompanied by gongs, drums, and Indian oboes. Now, these are the musical instruments of Malaysia that can be found in their musical ensembles and performances. Number 1, Agung, a set of two wide-rimmed, vertically suspended gongs. Number 2, Kulintang, an ancient instrumental form of music composed on a row of small horizontally laid gongs that function melodically. And number 3, we have Kertok. Xylophone type and resonator is a large dried out coconut or kelapa with the top sawn off. Now, let's fly to Thailand. Thailand, formerly known as Siam, and known for being the sole nation in Southeast Asia that has never been ruled by a Western power. Its musical instruments are inspired from the Indian and Indonesian strings and gong chimes. Thailand has 3 primary instrumental ensembles that are similar to the other ensembles in Southeast Asia. 3 primary instrumental ensembles. Number 1, PFAT. It is a mid-sized orchestra that is performed in either outdoor style with hard mallets or indoor style with padded mallets. This ensemble has different types, but the highly ornate one is traditionally associated funerals and cremation ceremonies. Other versions of the PFAT ensemble are used to accompany specific forms of traditional Thai drama, such as the large shadow puppet theater. Number 2, Kroyang Sai. It is an orchestra that combines some of the percussion and wind instruments of the PFAT with an expanded string section. This group is primarily used for indoor performances and for the accompaniment of stick puppet theater. Number 3. Mahori. This ensemble is traditionally played by women in the courts of central Thailand and Cambodia. Because of this instrument, for this ensemble are historically smaller. However, regular-sized instruments are used today. A vocalist performing with the Mahori is usually accompanied by the saw samsai. Now, these are the musical instruments of Malaysia that can be found in their instrumental ensembles. Number 1. Ranat, a Thai xylophone that has 21 wooden bars suspended by cords over a boat and strapped by 2 mallets. Number 2. Kong Wong Lek is a gong circle used in Thai classical music, and it has 18 tunes bossed gongs. Number 3. Tapon, a traditional drum of Thailand, a barrel shaped with 2 heads and is played by hands in fingers of both hands. Number 4. Klong That, a drum that provides rhythm in P-fat and sound, similar to skordom of Cambodia. Number 5. Cheng, a small bowl-shaped finger symbol of thick and heavy bronze with broad rim commonly used in Cambodia and Thailand. Number 6. Ton, a small goblet drum made of ladder spoonwood which covered the goat skin. And number 7. Sao Duang, a 2-string instrument used in traditional Thai music. The sound is produced by the bow made from horsetail hair, which goes between the strings made from silk. The bow has to be tilted to switch from one string to another. And number 8. Kim, a hammered dulcimer that has its origin from Thailand and Cambodia. The kim is produced of wood. It is trapezoidal in shape and has brass strings that are laid across the percussion instrument. At this moment, let's fly to Laos. This country is an independent state of Southeast Asia and officially known as Lao People's Democratic Republic. The Lao Orchestra can be divided into 2 categories. We have Sep Nhai and Sep Noi. Number 1. Sep Nhai. This is similar to the P-fat of Thailand with instruments that are strictly percussive but also integrates the use of an oboe. Number 2. Sep Noi. It is also known as the Mahori of Thailand. However, it incorporates the use of several kin, which is large bamboo mouth organ, and is the most popular folk music instrument of Laos. Traditional music called Morlam is largely based around the king. Now, after Laos, let's fly to Vietnam. This country is officially known as the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. This country is located on the eastern coast of the Indochinese Peninsula. These are the categories of Vietnamese music. Number 1. Imperial court music. The most popular of this kind is the Nanak, that was popularly performed during the Tran dynasty to the Nguyen dynasty. This form of classical music is also performed in honor of the gods and scholars in temples. Other classical music falling into this category is the Dainak or great music and the Tunak or small music, which was performed as chamber music for the king. Number 2, folk music. This category is extremely diverse because it includes music performed both indoors and outdoors. Performers of this category are also diverse. They may be professional musicians down to the blind artists in the streets who perform to earn their living. Vietnamese folk music is performed in different occasions depending on its subcategory like musical theater, streets, for courtship rituals, for invoking spirits in ceremonies, and are sometimes influenced by the Western elements. Some Vietnamese music only has female singers and some have both male and female singers. Number 3, religious and ceremonial music. These are music performed in religious rituals or at funerals. And now, for our last country in Southeast Asia, let's fly to Singapore. Through the years, the music industry in Singapore grew, having Western influenced performances by the Singapore Symphony, the orchestra, as well as ethnic music performances mainly by the Singapore Chinese Orchestra. Other performing groups with Malay and Indian influence are still prevalent. Until today, Singapore's cultural life reflects its colonization by the British Empire and its diverse population. Being the melting pot of different cultures in Asia, folk music of this country reflects the culture and traditions of specific groups. And that concludes our discussion about the instrumental music of Southeast Asia. Now, let us generalize the lesson. Is there any similarity of musical instruments from the different countries in Southeast Asia? Can you enumerate those similarities? You may write your answer or you may comment your answer on the comment section on our RTV Tarlac Facebook Live. Now, I want you to pay attention to the second activity in the learning activity sheet and get ready with your pen because I will assess your learning based from our lesson today. Classify the musical instrument of Southeast Asia according to Hornbostel Sachs classifications: membranophone, aerophone, chordophone, or idiophone. Analyze how it played to produce sound by strike with mallet or stick, tap by hands, strummed or plucked, or blown by air. Write your answer on the columns on the learning activity sheet activity 2, after which we will check your answer immediately. Are you ready? Okay, let's begin. Number 1. Kerotok. Is it membranophone, aerophone, chordophone, or idiophone? And how do you play this instrument? Write your answer. Number 2. Taphon. Is it membranophone or aerophone? Chordophone or idiophone? And how do you play this instrument? Write your answer. Number 3. Saoduang. Is it membranophone, aerophone, chordophone, or idiophone? And how do you play this instrument? Write your answer. Number 4. Kin. Is it membranophone, aerophone, chordophone, or idiophone? And how do you play this instrument? Write your answer. And number 5. Ranat. Is it membranophone, aerophone, chordophone, or idiophone? And how do you play this instrument? Write your answer. Now, we will check your answer. Number 1, Porker Talk. Its classification is idiophone, and to produce its sound, you need to strike it with mallet. Number 2, Portapon. Its classification is membranophone, and to produce its sound, you need to tap it using your hands. Number 3, for Saotuang, its classification is chordophone, and to produce its sound, aside from you can strum or pluck the strings by rubbing the bow to the string of the Saotuang, it can produce different vibrant pitches. Number 4, Kin. Its classification is aerophone, and to produce its sound, you need to use a small, hollowed out hardwood reservoir into which air is blown. Number 5, Foranat. Its classification is idiophone, and to produce its sound, you need to strike it with mallet. I know that you did great in your short activity. Congratulations! Before we end this episode, let me remind you about your performance task in Music 8. Directions: create any improvised musical instruments using materials that resemble to the musical instrument of Southeast Asia to be used as a accompaniment in singing any Philippine folk song, and make a video of your performance and send a copy to your MAPI teacher. And for the rubrics of your performance, we have timbre, students' vocal tone quality and instrumentation; pitch, students perform with correct pitch; rhythmic accuracy, students perform with correct rhythm; creativity or resourcefulness, students' ability to create localized or improvised musical instrument. For excellent, 5 points; for very good, 4 points; for good, 3 points; for satisfactory, 2 points; and for need improvement, 1 point. Dear grade 8 learners, if you have questions and clarifications in our lesson, you can send your questions on my Facebook Messenger. Just search Michael Carunia Garcia, or you may ask your MAPE teacher. For now, please like and share our Facebook page and watch us live on Facebook RTV Tarlac Channel 26. 25 minutes of traveling to the different countries in Southeast Asia has been concluded. I hope you learned a lot today. I hope all of you had a great time and enjoyed our lesson. That's all for today. Once again, I am Sir Michael Garcia, your Music Grade 8 Anchor teacher. Until next time, happy listening and have a great day. See you again on the second quarter. Always take care of yourselves and God bless.
Bahagi mo Radyo Pilipino saan mang bahagi buhay. Kabahagi mo Radyo Pilipino. Radyo Pilipino sumasahim papawid sa DWPR 1296 Dagupan, DZTC 828 Tarlac, DZLT 1188 Lucena, DZYM 1539 Mindoro, DWRL 1080 Legazpi, DWRN 657 Naga, DYRB 540 Cebu, DYRL 1035 Bacolod, DYRN 1134 Dumaguete, DXCO 1044 Cagayan de Oro, DXGS 765 General Santo, DXOC 1494 Ozami, DXOW 981 Davao at Radio Filipino Podcast Center Manila. Ito ang kabahagi mo Radyo Pilipino, napapakinggan on air and online sa buong mundo sa pamamagitan ng www.radiofilipino.com. Impormasyong may kalidad at serbisyong may halaga. Kasama katuwang Kapinoy. Kabahagi mo Radyo Filipino. Radyo Filipino.
Welcome to Aral TarlakHenyo.
Alam niyo ba na ang Pilipinas ay mayroong 7,641 islands? Mula sa bilang na 7,107 islands, nadagdagan ito ng 534 na isla noong 2017. Tanging 2,000 lamang sa mga islang ito ang natitirhan. Alam niyo na! Yan ang mga isla sa Pilipinas.
Kumusta mga giliw kong tagapakinig?
Nagbabalik ang inyong paaralang panghimpapawid
Aral TarlakHenyo
sa RTV Tarlac, Channel 26
at sa bayang naririnig sa DZTC 828
Radyo Pilipino Tarlac.
Tayo rin ay napapanood sa FB Live ng RTV Tarlac Channel 26.
Sumasahimpapawid mula sa bayan ng Pura Tarlac,
mula sa bayan ng San Clemente,
mula rito sa Puro Elementary School, Pura Tarlac,
sa bayan ng Kapas Tarlac.
Ako, ang inyong guro,
na maghahatid sa inyo ng makabuluhang pagtalakay sa ating aralin.